Hello, grade 9s. How are you out there? Hope you've been looking after yourselves nicely. But school must continue despite the effects of COVID. And from where we ended last time, I sent the notes via the school website, and those are the ones that I want to explain about storage devices. What are storage devices? Looking through the notes that I gave you, we define storage devices as follows. Major devices that stores application and user information. So the two words that are coming out here are application and user information. So which means any storage media can store user application, which simply means programs which runs on the computer are stored on these storage devices, as well as the user information. The difference between the two is applications are programs which runs on the computer. Then user information are those files you create whilst using the computer. And the two are always stored on storage devices. Sometimes the storage media is also called digital media. And these are the two main reasons why we use storage devices. That is to store user data and to store computer programs. There are three categories of storage devices, and these go to what we call magnetic storage devices. We have what we call semiconductor or solid state devices, and we've got what we call optical devices. On magnetic devices, let me show you something. Magnetic storage devices, we've got two categories as well. There are magnetic disks and magnetic tapes. By the way, magnetic storage devices, they use magnetic properties to store data on these devices. And some examples of magnetic disks are the one showing here, the hard disk, external hard disk, and the floppy disk. Then we've got magnetic tapes. I don't know about this generation. In our times, when we want to watch a movie, it was stored on this type of a material. And this, we used to call it a video tape. It has a long ribbon inside, which actually stores the very pictures we see as movies. And the other type of a magnetic tape is what we call an audio tape. And this one is used to store music. In the way they store their information, they are different from magnetic disks to magnetic tapes. Here in the magnetic disk, data is stored in the format, in the organization we call direct file access. Then magnetic tapes, we've got sequential file access. In sequential file access, we have files, we can have songs on a ribbon, and they are stored one after the other. There will be song 1, song 2, song 3. This depicts a ribbon. Now, the problem with this kind of storage is that if you want to listen to song number 3, you first have to do with song 1, then you finish song 2, that's when you go to song 3. These files are arranged in a sequence, one after the other. So the main problem with this is that for you to access the file you want, you need to you have to listen to the songs you don't want to. That's when you get to the song that you want to. There are options of doing fast forward Despite doing that, you won't know if you would have arrived at the song you want to listen to. You might bypass it, you go to song number 5, then you need to again rewind it until you are at a point where you want the song to start from. So that's what we call sequential file organization. It occurs in magnetic tapes. But when we talk of magnetic disks, their storage of data is different from magnetic tapes. They use what we call direct file access. When you're using your disk like a CD at home, you basically just press a number on your remote control. If the song is number 22, you just do 22 on your remote control. It will take you direct to the song that you want to listen to. That's what we call direct file access. Or when you log on to your computer, you would want to open a certain file. You just directly go to that file, double click, and it opens. That's an example of what we call direct file access. So, sequential takes place in magnetic tapes. Then in direct file access, we have it in magnetic disks. File access in direct file access is faster as compared to magnetic tapes. Apart from this, we can look at optical disks. Optical disks are called optical because they use light. This normally comes during the final exam. When we say optical disk, what that simply means is that they use light in order to read or write data to the disk. They normally call it laser light. And that is the reason why we call it optical disks. They use light. If you have a problem with your sight, you're going to see the optician, something to do with the sight or light. That's where the word optical disks came from, because they use light. There are various types of disks that you find on the market. We've got what we call compact disks, and we've got what we call the DVDs. Compact disk in short is CD, then the DVDs are the digital versatile disk, and that's the correct spelling showing there. So, what about the disk? There are various. We've got what we call CD-ROM, we've got what we call CD-R, we have got what we call CD-RW. The first one, CD-ROM, they are never blank. They always come with data on it. Then ROM, which simply means read-only memory. That data cannot be changed. When you buy a ROM CD, simply means it has got data on it. And mostly software comes on this type of a CD. Then if you want to burn a CD, to put music on a CD, you go and buy a blank CD. What you are getting, we call it a recordable CD, CDR. These, they are always blank. If someone is selling CDs which are blank, they are selling CD recordables. But once you write data to this, no sooner you put music to it, it will turn into a CD-ROM. Simply means you write to it once, and that data becomes permanent on that disk. Then we've got the last one there, CD Rewritable. This one behaves most like a flash disk. This is the disk where you can write onto it many times. You can write, you can format, you can write, you can edit the data which is on the disk. Mostly like your exam classes, after doing computer practicals, we normally put your work on a CD. And the type of a CD we put, we use a CD recordable, not this. We are afraid that when we put data on this type of a disk, someone might edit the data before it is delivered to ECZ. So the best material to use when sending data to Examination Council of Zambia, we use the CD recordable. So remember, they are supplied with data on it, and they are never blank. And their contents are permanent. In CD recordable, these are the ones which are supplied as blank CDs. But once you write onto it, the data becomes permanent. Then you've got CD RW. This one you can write onto it many times. You can format, you can edit the data almost 1,000 times. Then, away from optical disks, we've got what we call solid state drives. The solid state drive, the main example are the read-only memory, and the other one is the SSD hard disk. In case you're not using the common hard disk that we use in computers, nowadays most of the operating systems are being installed on this type of a disk. When you go to senior secondary school, you will be informed that these solid state disks are created using a material that we call silicon. And most of the computer components are made out of silicon. So these are what we call solid state disks. They are actually faster in data access as compared to the hard disks which are in this category. The hard disks where we've got this main hard disk, we've got external hard disk, and we've got the floppy disks. The floppy disks, those disks that we were using them possibly in the heydays of computer, but they are obsolete nowadays because we no longer use them. Reason being that, one, they've got slow access to data, and two, their storage capacity is so small. And that is the main reason why we are now moving to solid state drives. And this will be possibly the future of technology in terms of storage in years to come, because it is now replacing the rest of the hard disks. Newer computers have operating systems installed on this type of a disk. So, I hope you have these notes, because I sent these notes, and hopefully you are studying these notes. If you have any queries about these notes and from my explanations, please don't hesitate to WhatsApp me on 0966 272740 for further clarification. And thank you. Hoping to see you soon. Bye-bye.